You ever killed a man?
Yes, I have. My own hands.
What's that like?
It's hard to deal with when you kill a man. It's something that sticks with you. Every time you close your eyes, every time you go to bed at night, you see him. You see him in your head.
Now, did you have pants on at the time?
I did. It's actually when I stopped wearing pants. I just gave them up because I killed the man. And I was like, after this day, I'm not going to wear any pants. And I named the show In Your Head. I thought it would ease my mind because the man was in my head all the time. I just saw his eyes as they closed.
So that inspired the name In Your Head?
Right. I thought it would be like a memory of him. But instead, it worked in reverse. And every time I say In Your Head, there's a part of me that dies inside.
That's some cold stuff there.
It's really, it's like the heart of Jack. Now you know what it's like to be me. It ain't easy, man.
Were you ever apprehended about this? Questioned about killing this man? Or?
I was questioned once. I was taken down to the detective agency. But I had an airtight alibi. And at an early age, I really learned how to lie. Because I was running with the wrong crowd. And so just a skill I picked up at a young age was just how to lie. And as bad as that sounds, it came in handy to save my life from taking away another man's life.
So this crowd that you're hanging out with, what were they into? What made them such a bad crowd? I mean, give me some details.
We were notorious for, they were like the garden gang. We had a big garden, and we would grow tomatoes, a big tomato patch.
Tomatoes?
We would go around town. It's hard to say, because I've never really admitted this to anybody besides you right now.
So this bad crowd, this is actually making you choke up?
None of them are with us anymore, dude.
It's making you cry? I mean, they led you to kill a man. Why are you crying about it?
They're all gone. I was the only one who made it out.
What would you do with these tomatoes?
We would throw them at windows of old elderly men and women and couples.
So you didn't discriminate?
No. And, I could just picture the tomatoes splattering right now. And in a ways, it was a lot like, when the man died. Only, instead of tomatoes, next time was blood.
Could you describe, like, the sound the tomato made whenever it hit the window?
It was like blood splat, and then you could kind of hear as it would seep down. Because the juice would splatter, and you'd be left with the meat of the fruit.
This sounds like a pretty shady crowd you were hanging out with. Tomatoes to throw them at people's windows.
Once the blood was out of that man, and it was just the meat, I just thought, just like a tomato. You squish it against the window, and the tomato sauce is smeared on the window. All that's left is the meat of that tomato, and that was all left was that guy. He was just skin and meat.
So this blood that you said it wasn't in the man anymore. What'd you do? Did you drink the blood? How did you kill him?
We were playing around on the monkey bars, grabbed him and I threw him off.
How old were you when you committed this?
I was 8.
8?
Hard to deal with him, 8 years old, man. I learned to grow up fast.
You're just dumbfounded by what you're telling me.
Most people that age are playing with like Legos. I was like dealing with murder.
Tomato bashing murderers.
It's true when they say you go from drinking, you start smoking the dope. It's like the gateway drug. After that, you shoot up the heroin. You're snorting the coke. And a lot of people don't realize, but throwing fruit at windows, it's really like the gateway in a crime to murder. They've done studies. It's a high statistic, and I'm one of those statistics. I'm not alone. You go to a group.
What made you decide to kill him, though? I mean, I just can't understand why you just want to end somebody's life like that.
Stole my Cobra Commander, and it was the mail-away one, the one with the hood.
Yeah. Oh man, those are hard to find.
I still have the dome face one, which is cool and all. And later in life, I actually learned to appreciate that one more than the hooded one because it provided more protection, so it's more realistic to me. So protect the man's eyes.
Now, I personally always found the Shield Cobra Commander better.
Exactly, yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't really look at it that way. You just thought, I've collected these proof of purchases, so when I send away, it's like an accomplishment. It's like I worked hard to get this hooded Cobra Commander, therefore he's better.
Did he still have the gun on his back?
He lost the gun in an unfortunate incident that took place in the sandbox.
That is unfortunate.
It wasn't that long ago. I was at that same sandbox reminiscing about, my lost child. I looked down and I found the gun, and the tears just poured down my face. I couldn't explain it. It was almost like a part of him was gone. He wasn't a full man. He lost his gun.
So it's like something like you completed him, and then he took it away.
Right. I was like filling that void, and it wasn't so much that he took it from me. It was almost like he took me from him, and I just couldn't cope with that Cobra Commander was without me there to guide him.
But I think the name hints Cobra Commander.
Right.
So I don't think he needs somebody to lead him. Am I not understanding?
We all need a higher power to lead us.
You have a question, sir?
Yes, Dewey Robertson from the BBC. I'd just like to ask, the whole tomato incident, now were these tomatoes grown exclusively for use in throwing at windows, or were some of them eating as a food product?
We had a business on the side. Some kids sold Kool-Aid. By the day, we sold roadside salads. We used the tomatoes at night, for our life of crime. But really, the salad bar down at the corner, we did make some pretty good cash. We probably could have went legit. Now the whole gang could probably be like millionaires. Salad bars really sprung up after that. It wasn't really popular back then. But there was a wild side to us. We just needed this. We couldn't explain it.
I don't understand tomatoes, though. I mean, you grew up in Massachusetts. Why didn't you choose something like lobsters or shrimp?
Cape Cod, you can go to any tree basically and shake it. You'll get a lobster. Why am I going to buy this when I can go pick one up, in the forest?
Now, when you killed him, did you hear his death rattle? Did he make a death rattle?
He did. It's like I could hear the death rattle of tomatoes. It was
so kind of sloshy, like.
Right.
Was he a fat man?
He was 8.
He was 8.
Right.
His mom feed him like a lot?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy. Pretty big kid. Yeah. Big man. Big boy.
Why do you think his mom fed him so much? Was he like a spoiled child or something or other?
He wasn't like a regular at our salad bar. I believe he ate a lot of pork products. Can't get too much into it, but I believe the family's associated with the sausage company.
A sausage company.
And basically, to help promote the sausage, they would feed all their kids sausage.
What are these sketchy details about the sausage company? I think you're trying to hide something.
Well, if I say the names, they could possibly lead back. And when I say sausage, that's really just means a pork product.
Sausage with like the syrup already in it?
It could be bacon.
Those are good.
It could be links. It could have been patties, natural casings. I mean, they weren't their parents. They would make all their children eat this pork product to show that, like, it was safe. Like, we feed our child, these sausages 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, eating for breakfast, eating for lunch, eating for dinner. It's like, if we do that to our kids, that means they're good for you.
Fascinating. I like to thank you for sharing the story with me, Chad. I never understood this about you, but I think I feel like I know you more.
I think we took a journey here. This trip to the Capital Legends Fan Fest, it wasn't just to see the legends. It was, I think, to grow not as interested in individuals, but as like a unit, to share a common bond, and to take that step forward in our relationship to become one.
I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Right.
Yo, you can run track, you can shoot with skill, get a contract, get a shoe deal.
I didn't go in because I was laughing at that one.
How lame was that?